Give it a second here. Good morning, Prepper Nation. John here. How's everybody doing? I don't know if y'all can see the steam coming off. I'm drinking tea. That's where my life is at, son. I'm drinking herbal tea this morning. Let me do this real quick. Me pulling over the top. You know, the Stallone movie. Right? Where he's sitting there and he's going, boom. Let's do that this morning, all right? How is everybody doing? Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to support the channel and being subscribed. You know, it's amazing to me. Let me just touch on this for a minute or so, and then we'll get into things. It's amazing to me. When I had a channel that had advertisements in it and, you know, I was promoting BattleBox heavily and stuff like this, people were subscribing all over the place and they were bitching and moaning about the ads, which I totally understand, by the way. But they continued to subscribe. Now that the ads are completely gone, now that I'm not sitting here trying to sell anything, man, you would think I offended everybody and people are dropping like flies. It's crazy. I don't understand what is wrong with having a channel that's not trying to sell you anything. I don't know if people just aren't used to it. They don't like it. I don't get it. I'll tell you something else that's sad. Well, let me tell you the story real quick. Oh, this. I see this in the camera. So this is not me trying to reinvent myself. This is not a midlife crisis or anything, folks. Straight up. I split my nail in half. I wish I could tell you I did this fighting ninjas and stuff. Long story short, my daughter asked if I had The Great Gatsby, which is an older book, because they're going to be reading it in school, and she wanted to get a jump on it. I do. I got a huge bookcase, but I've got bunches of totes of books under my bed as well. So I had to get up under the bed and split my nail in half. So my wife, and it freaking hurt. If you've never had a split nail, it hurts. So my wife is like, here, I've got the perfect thing for it. Excuse me. It was some kind of nail hardener or something. But as she's putting this on, I'm like, son, this has got gold glitter in it. This ain't gonna fly. So it worked, you know, but once it got hard, I'm not walking around with glitter on my nails. So this is actually duct tape that I cut and covered it up. That's where I'm at. I'm drinking tea and wearing duct tape on a fingernail over here, son. But I digress. Sad. Happy and then sad. One of the best things that you'll ever hear, at least in my case, I will go to pick my wife up from work. Kids will be on the playground, okay? You can't see them per se. They're out of sight, but you can hear them. And you can hear how much fun kids are having on the playground. It's just not something you hear a lot anymore because, you know, kids are like doing all this stuff now. And I saw a thing on, I forget which news channel it was, folks. It was on mainstream news, but apparently somebody had taken a picture or video or something. Maybe if you've seen this, drop it in the comments if you don't mind. At a McDonald's play place. And they were talking about how sad it was because when you went in here, they just had, you know, like TV or computer screens on the walls and tablets and things. There's nothing to actually play on. And it's really sad to me, not to get off on a tangent, but how kids can early in life go from a playground having a blast to just a few years later, somewhere along the way, they're transitioned into tech zombies. You know what I'm saying? And it's really sad to me. I love to hear kids playing outside. I guess I'm old, man. I don't know. I know I'm old, but I guess that's why it's hitting me so hard. I don't know. But kids, I don't get it. I just don't understand. Which I'm not going to harp too much on technology, but I will say this. Some of you know, because some of you have left comments and you've said, hey, you know, I unplugged for a month, but I'm back, this sort of thing. When you unplug after a couple of weeks, you start to feel different. I don't really know how to explain it to somebody who stays constantly plugged in. But when you walk away for a few weeks, your life starts to change. You find that you're happier. You find that you're not exposed to as much negative stuff. It has an actual term, folks. It's called doom scrolling. I didn't know what this was when I saw this. I thought doom scrolling was like if you have Netflix or something. The streaming services, the reason I like DVDs and Blu-rays much better, physical media, is I would see myself doing this at one point in time. I would be on Netflix or Hulu or something, and I'm scrolling through for an hour. You know what I mean? And not really watching anything, just it was like this overload, if you will. So it's called doom scrolling anyway. It has nothing to do with Netflix or Hulu, though. It has to do with the topics that we've talked about for the past couple of videos. We're not going to touch on it much today. You can go back and watch those videos if you're interested. But doom scrolling is people seeking out, going out of their way to look for negative news, because negative news makes them feel a sort of way. They're addicted to the highs or the lows or the anxiety that comes along with it. I don't really know what it is. But people that go out of their way to do this, it's a real thing. And it's I read that it's actually considered a mental illness at this point. And immediately I thought about the prepping community, which we're going to go over some subjects here shortly. And we're going to talk about tariffs this morning as well. And the feedback you folks left on the last video. So let's go ahead and start with that, the feedback from the last video, because I said, hey, leave a comment. We'll talk about some of the comments. It was about 50-50, if I'm being honest. You guys were fair. I appreciate that. You always have a troll or two, you know, that just goes out of their way to try and aggravate you. I ignore those, or, you know, I'll tell my boys, just block them. We ain't got time for this. But you folks were fair by and large, and I appreciate it. Probably and I'm paraphrasing here, but probably the most received comment was, it takes time. Trump can't fix things in a month, right? And that's fair. That's fair. You guys are exactly right. Roy Batty, if you were out there, you left the best comment, I think. Roy Batty said, and again, brother, I'm paraphrasing. I would have to, you know, go in and look at the comment verbatim, but he said, I'm with you. I feel the same way you do, but let's give him a year. Let's see where America is at 1 year from now. You know, after we've had Trump, because after a year, you really can't blame Biden anymore. A year, I think, is enough time for any president to go in. Same as you know, if a Democrat was taking over. After about a year, you really can't blame the guy before. Biden for 4 years blamed Trump. But after the first year, you really can't blame Trump, you know, because you've been president long enough. So I think that's fair. Let's give this man a year and see what he can do. Bringing us to the tariffs. I'm not going to be a fence rider on this topic. Okay, I need to be very clear about that. But I am going to explain both sides of the fences before I take a position. Assumed a position, right? So here's the thing with tariffs. People that are against tariffs, the prices on everything are rising. Or they will be very, very soon. I mean, this is how tariffs are going to work for the United States, because, hold on a second. Somebody trying to call. Sorry about that, guys. prices are going to go up. They're going to inflate very soon. And people that are against tariffs are like, what is Trump doing? He's doing damage. He's strip mining even more so than Joe Biden did. The people on the other side of the fence are saying we need to do this to make sure that we are treated fairly. So there's both viewpoints there, okay? I'm going to take a position now. In my opinion, I'm pro-tariffs. I agree with what is being done. As I said last video, I don't agree with the timing very much. I think if it's going to take Trump, to y'all's point last time, if it's going to take Trump a year and a half to get the economy back on track, maybe he should have waited a year and a half and then slapped these tariffs down. But he did what he did. And I think that we have to be treated fairly, because we have not been getting treated fairly on the world stage. And I think that he's just trying to get this done now, kind of set a precedence, if you will. So, yeah, and it's not fair. It's not fair that we would allow other countries to send their goods here, not slap a tariff on them. But then when we send our goods there, they're throwing 25, 50% tariffs or whatever down. That's not cool. And that does need to change. Again, the timing I think could have been better, but I'm pro-tariff. We need to get this done. I know a lot of people, even Americans, are like, we stand with you, Canada. But we need fair trade. If you're going to put 25% tariffs on us, or vice versa, it needs to be done to the other side. If we're going to have free trade, that means zero tariffs or the same percentage tariffs across the board. And anybody, any country that has a problem with that has probably gotten used to using the United States because we have such a large economy. And I'm sorry, if it makes things harder for your country, I love and respect Canadians and people in Europe as well. Some of them view that, are here on Prepper Nation. But at the end of the day, it's not fair to farmers here. It's not fair to production workers here, so on and so forth. Just like it wouldn't be fair if the coin was flipped on the other side, right? We got to make sure things are fair. So keep an eye on the tariffs. A lot of things are about to go up in price here in the United States. You're going to be paying more for stuff. I think vehicle parts, construction, stuff you need to construct new homes and things are about to skyrocket. And certain foods, I don't think all foods are going to go up. The EU immediately jumped in. They started throwing tariffs down. And this was kind of backhanded. And here's why, okay? Canada has come out and they said, hey, we've always had your back, America. They keep bringing up Afghanistan and stuff and the fact that they lost soldiers in Afghanistan. And you can respect that position. But when I look at Europe, I'm like, we bailed you out of 2 world wars that you were losing handedly. Both times we came in and we bailed you out. And what do we get in return? We get a backhanded, I think it's 25% tariffs, just because you don't like Donald Trump. The fact that they're doing this, to me, reinforces that we need tariffs. Everybody gets treated equally. Otherwise, forget you, son. Fight your own wars. We're not sending funding to you anymore. Nothing, man. It has to make sense at some point. So y'all let me know what you think in the comments on that. We're about to dive into, looks like 5. These are, if you're new around here, you ain't seen a video in a while, bringing me to one of the commenters last week. And I hope that I don't come across as a jerk saying this, okay? Because I'm not trying to be. But I'm going to tell it like it is this morning, okay? Because you folks that are subscribed and that have watched the videos over the past few years, I appreciate y'all. I truly do. And I had somebody comment last video, and they didn't understand the concept. They didn't understand what happened. They said, I ain't been over here to watch a video in 2 years. Please explain to me what's going on. I'm not explaining crap to you. If you're too sorry to be here for 2 years, like you just skipped out on this channel for 2 years, there's no reason for you to come back now. Right? Because over the past 2 years, yeah, the channel has changed. But a lot of people have been here to support that channel, man. It's like a family atmosphere in the chat. And at some point, another reason to be subscribed, at some point we are going to have a live stream. I don't know when. We'll throw out 1 or 2 a year. I remember saying Christmas, and we'll have one this summer or early spring, something like that. I don't know. Just make sure you subscribe so you get that notification, okay? Because I do miss the live stream. So anyway, if you're not familiar with these are the headlines of videos in the prepping community. I don't know the creators. I get handed these. David handed them to me this week. And I haven't seen the videos. So I'm basically just going off the headlines. And I'm going to give you my 2 cents. And, of course, drop your 2 cents in the comments section. So the first one, major drone strike on Moscow. Who cares? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Who cares? When I read that, let me unfold it again because I don't want to mispronounce anything. Major drone strike on Moscow. First thing that comes to my mind, how does this make me a better prepper? And the answer, of course, unless you're in Ukraine or Moscow, is it doesn't. It doesn't. This is a waste of time, however long the video is, 10, 20, 30 minutes. It's not going to help you become a better prepper, period. It's just a waste of time. This is what I call filler in the community. This is somebody that has to post every day because it's their income and they really don't know what to talk about that day. So they go to mainstream media, they find the thing that everybody's talking about on social media or whatever, and they post a video about it to get views. I mean, that's what's going on here. Again, if you're in Ukraine or Moscow, this may affect you. Otherwise, this ain't affecting me. Right? It's not affecting me whatsoever. All right. Number 2, is a crash imminent? Yes. Yes. I don't know when it's coming, but we can only prop it up for so long. Everything is based around the stock market, which I don't agree with. I'm not saying I'm a fan of the stock market. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Everything revolves around the stock market. And one thing Trump has done that I don't really care for so much, y'all let me know what you think in the comments, is he's wishy-washy. Well, we're going to throw these tariffs down. You know, we're going to throw them down on Monday. And then he's like, nah, we're going to wait 30 days because they sent people to the border. Nah, we're going to switch it to 50% tariffs for this country, this country. When you go back and forth like that, the market drops off of a cliff. And when the market drops off of a cliff, people lose money. Not me. I don't play the stock market, but I'm talking about people's 401ks take a hit. Companies don't invest money because they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, you need stability. We really need stability in this country right now. And another thing I'll say about Trump that I don't really care for, I agree with the tariffs, but I don't agree with him, this backhanded comment that he keeps making about Canada. Instead of calling it Canada, he says our 51st state. I'm like, why would you say that? They're not our 51st state. We have states here that don't want to be here. Canada's not interested in being the 51st state. You're just pouring gasoline on something when you don't need to do it. So, again, let me know what you think. But yeah, a crash is imminent. How bad it will be, I don't know. Civil war is here, and it's not civil at all. Well, let's see here, son. I don't see anything but a couple of squirrels running around, if you want to know the truth. I don't see any muskets being fired out in the woods or anything like that. I'm not saying civil war will never come, okay? But I have my doubts. I have my doubts that enough people would stand up to politics as usual and actually fight for their country at this point. Or fight to take their country back. There are a lot of people calling for it on social media, but that's all they're doing. Same thing as I'm doing. They just sitting there and they saying, hey, we need a civil war, we need blah, blah, blah. I don't see it happening anytime soon. What I do see rather than a civil war is I see two political parties that have torn this country up and robbed Americans of their identity. Like there's no common ground at this point. You got the vote blue no matter who crowd. You got the down ballot red no matter what crowd. Nothing ever seems to get accomplished long term. People are championing Trump's executive orders. And I agree with some of them. Don't get me wrong. But the next time you have a Democratic president, they're just going to come in and cancel the stuff out via executive order. I mean, nothing long-term actually gets accomplished because these people are thieves. Both sides. And I think the average American knows this. Between lobbying and no term limits. I mean, my God, even our president has term limits. But Congress, for whatever reason, they're immune. And the only way they're going to have term limits, the only way to stop lobbying, because the courts aren't going to do it, is to take your country back. But I don't see people doing that anytime soon. Number 4. I think it's number 4. Are they undoing the damage or making things worse? This is a very vague, whoever put this out, it's a very vague, interesting but vague. Who is they, first of all? Are they undoing the damage or making things worse? I would assume that you're talking about Trump and Elon Musk, who, by the way, I'm tired of seeing Elon Musk on the news. I didn't vote for the guy. I see Elon Musk more than I do J.D. Vance on TV. I'm kind of tired of that. But I assume they're talking about Trump and Trump's cabinet and stuff like this. Are they undoing the damage or making things worse? They're going to, as you folks told me, you educated me last video, they're going to have to do more damage before things start to get better. Because 4 years of Joe Biden, or as some of you have alluded, possibly 12 years of Obama, you can't really fix that in a few months. So again, getting back to Roy Batty's comment for a second, let's give it a year and see where we're at. And look, I'm gonna hold people's feet to the fire. After Trump's been in office for a year, if the economy still sucks, I'm not blaming Joe Biden at that point. I'm blaming Donald Trump, but we'll see. Finally, can you prep on a budget? Hopefully, you're going to have to at this point. There are different types of preppers, okay? Just so you know, when you say prepper, and this is a bad habit some people have, they want to pigeonhole you. I got a comment last week. John, you shouldn't be worried about the price of eggs. You should be raising chickens. Well, that's good for you. I don't want to raise chickens, son. I'm raising kids and dogs right now. I have plenty of powdered eggs, right? I'm not doing without, but at some point I'm going to have to buy eggs. You understand? I still have the right to bitch about prices. It is what it is. Even though I got the stuff stockpiled. But raising chickens and chasing them around the yard, that's not for me. There are plenty of different preppers. And, well, hello, Miss Anna. One of the types of preppers and domestic gangster, I don't know if she posts to her channel anymore, but she used to be great at this, is somebody that preps on the cheap. I'm not talking about that lady that has the huge channel. I don't remember her name. Prepper something. Queen, princess, something like that. The one that teaches you how to be poor all the time. Let me tell you something real quick. So let me get off on a tangent. When you're poor already, you don't need advice, because you've already figured it out. You don't need somebody lecturing you on how to live poor. I mean, but I digress. Domestic Gangster was really good because she was doing grocery hauls, but she was doing them at a fraction of the cost. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't raising chickens either that I'm aware of. She may have been, I don't know. But some preppers do this. You know, some are more into the canning and preservation of food. Some of them are more into building lookout towers and setting up AR platforms. Some of them are apartment preppers. Sure, some of them are homesteaders and they have plenty of animals. But once you get into that, it's a completely different lifestyle, and it is a huge commitment of time. And this is why I don't have chickens running around my yard, folks. I just don't have time for it. I really don't. So yeah, we've got it stockpiled and stuff, you know, the powdered eggs and everything. And we use that when we're cooking larger items. But I mean, sometimes you just want fried eggs, man. Sometimes you just want a fried egg. You know, I eat mine over easy, so yeah, we're buying eggs here and there. And I'm going to complain about the price because I have the right to do that, okay? As you do as well. So, yeah, you can prep on a budget. You need to be able to prep on a budget. There's an art to it. It's an art form to be able to prep cheaply. So, anyway, that's just my 2 cents. That's my video this week. I went way over. I'm so sorry. Let me know what you think in the comments, folks, about anything that was talked about today. What kind of job is Trump doing? Let me know in the comments. Am I wrong in these headlines? Let me know. Tea versus coffee, perhaps. Let me know. Y'all take care and God bless.